News just breaking here on India Today. Tata Sons and SpiceJet promoter Ajay Singh have submitted a bid for the purchase of Air India. That's right, big development. Today was the final day for submission of bids for the Air India sale and purchase. And we can confirm to you now that Tata Sons, Ratan Tata's company, and SpiceJet's promoter Ajay Singh, in his personal capacity, not representing SpiceJet, but in his personal capacity, has submitted a joint bid for the purchase of the ailing national carrier Air India. Could this be something that paves the way for the sale of the national carrier that successive governments have tried to divest unsuccessfully? Abha Bakaya is with me live to make sense of this new development. Abha, we all know how long the saga of the sale of Air India has gone on for. It hasn't happened successfully. You've got Tata Sons and Ajay Singh, two very prominent promoters coming together to bid for Air India. Where do you see this going? Do you think it's going to end in a possible purchase?
Well, there is one key difference this time, Shiv, and that's important to point out. The government's extremely confident that this time they're going to see success, and here's why. Now, unlike earlier, when the government had actually said that about 23,000 crore rupees of Air India's debt would also have to be borne by the bidders, this time they've made a significant change. They've actually suggested a debt-free transaction. That means the bidders are free to quote their price. This is, of course, dependent on that reserve price that's already been set, but it's irrespective of the debt. That's going to go into a special purpose vehicle, and therefore the bidders are free now to really make the bids that suit them, and that burden is not upon them. So this is the critical difference this time around. This is why the government's so confident it'll come through. Remember, Tata Sons as well as Ajay Singh, this time interestingly in his personal capacity, but he's known as someone who can really create brands in the aviation space, the comeback of SpiceJet, and that continues to be a business that he is in as well already in the aviation space. Tata Sons as well wants to expand when it comes to the aviation business. So strategically it's important to both. Which one will actually go for the bid this time around? It's going to be an exciting process, and we're going to be, of course, tracking it very closely.
Do we know what they plan to do with the brand, and the company itself? I mean, it's been going on for so long. Like you said, both the Tatas and Ajay Singh have vast experience in civil aviation. Do we know what, just out of curiosity, Abha, will Air India remain now a privately held airline then?
So that's the question I wish I knew the answer to, because there will be a lot of speculation on how this will pan out. But what is interesting to remember, Shiv, is that strategically Air India has a lot of assets, and a lot of assets that are very great value to airline contenders. They have a lot of berths at airports, parking bays, certain preferences and privileges that are coming in from the aviation regulator in terms of timings of flights and so on. And they also have a whole host of other businesses as well. So they're, all together, their assets are actually quite immense and span an entire segment of the industry, from cargo to other assets and real estate, etc. So it's actually a very important acquisition should it go through for either corporate.
Well, we'll be tracking that very closely. Abha, appreciate that update from you. Fingers crossed, because the one thing we can all perhaps agree on is that Air India definitely needs new owners. It's a brand that deserves to be rescued. We'll keep a track of that story and get